Hello and welcome to another episode of Quick Expert Reviews. Today we've got the Jsaux Modcase and the Spigen Slim Fit Pro, both cases for the ROG Ally, the OG ROG Ally from 2023, the very first one. Now we're going to start with the mod case first. So as you can see, you've got a front cover, you've got the back protective case, and you also have two straps that come in the box, a longer one and a shorter one. I've got the shorter one attached because I do like to carry my mouse around. Not for desktop use, because you can use your right stick for that, but to play real-time strategies and turn-based strategies. It's just easier to use with a mouse. Maybe not the turn-based ones, because you can at least, take your time, but for real-time strategies like Command and Conquer, Red Alert, or Generals, yeah, you want to use a mouse. As you can see, it does hold the mouse in place quite well, so it does work really well. And then you've got the very, very, very flimsy kickstand, which I will focus on later on in the video, but yeah, it's not the greatest, to be honest. So the case itself is quite hefty. So the protective cover, this one I've just taken off with those 4 slots for the memory cards, as you can see inside, is 155 grams. And then the protective case that is on the Ally itself is an additional 140 grams. So altogether for both of these, excluding the mouse on the back, you're looking at around 275 grams. So that's quite a lot, considering that the Ally is already around 500 something grams. So yeah, to be honest, it is quite heavy, and the kickstand itself, as you can see, it is very flimsy. So as soon as you lift your Ally, unfortunately it folds, and you have to reopen it again. It doesn't hold it on your lap either, which I will show you later on. So I mean, I'd prefer for that the kickstand to not be there. But when it comes to the actual case itself, you've got nice cutouts for both fans, you've got easy access to the macro buttons, and it does that additional grips for the sides of the Ally, which makes it a bit more comfortable to hold, very close to ROG Ally X, to be honest. And then you've got the nice cutouts on the very top. However, for the fingerprint sensor, I would highly recommend re-registering your fingerprint again, because it does change it a bit. When it comes to the triggers, they don't protrude into the case itself. The case doesn't block the triggers. However, the Y and the B buttons are very close to the case, so you might sometimes touch the Y button and the case itself. The case doesn't stop or hold the Y button or the B button, but it is very close to the edges of the case itself. However, it is very, very comfortable to hold in your hand the Ally itself, and it does have a nice grips. So when it comes to putting on the case, it's not the easiest to put on, and you do have to go through some gymnastics to put it on. So you start from the very bottom, and then you have to press the left trigger and to put it on, and then the left bumper as well. So that's that, and then you have to do exactly the same exercise on the right hand side. So yeah, as you can see, not the easiest to put on, especially if you don't press the right bumper. But once you do, it's actually quite sturdy, and it's nice. And then when it comes to taking it off, it's even worse experience, to be honest. So once you put it on, I would highly recommend just keep it on. Because it just makes it easier to do that. And yeah, now, like I did say, the case itself is quite heavy, on 140 grams, and the ROG Ally is 608 grams, plus you've got the front cover, which is 135 grams. So yeah, it's quite heavy. In terms of attaching the strap, just make sure you attach it this way. So you've got this cutout, the C on the bottom, and then you've got the full connector on the top. Just make sure you connect it the right way, otherwise you might break it. The case itself is made of rubberized material, so it is actually not as sturdy as the Spigen one. And yeah, so this is the Spigen Slim Fit Pro with a definitely easier experience of putting it on and a proper kickstand. However, there is one thing that really makes it unusable for me, which I will show you in a second. But yeah, let's in terms of putting it on, You've got this nice cutouts again for your XG mobile port, your charging port, and the volume up, volume down. In terms of the fingerprint sensor, you don't actually have to re-register your fingerprint because it does work straight away. You've got this huge cutouts for the fans on the back and slightly easier access to the macro buttons. But the biggest issue I've got with this case is those sides. They are quite hard, and unfortunately they do dig into your palms. So it's not the most comfortable experience when you play on your handheld device, which, as the name implies, is held in your hands. However, the kickstand itself is definitely more than usable. It just works, as Todd Howard usually says in regards to Fallout games or Skyrim or anything like that. But yes, it is adjustable at different angles. It does work on your lap as well. So if you're chilling on a sofa, which I will show you in a second, it does a great job, the kickstand itself. And as you can see, it doesn't fold on its own. It actually stays open, which is what I want, what I prefer, to be honest, rather than opening every single time. But like I did say, because it's made of hard plastic and those sides unfortunately dig into my palms, if you do plan on buying this case, do make sure you've got a return window, just in case it's just my hands, and at least for yourself it is more comfortable to hold than it is for myself. So after that, let's move on to the lap gaming experience. I do understand that maybe not everyone is like me and wants to play with a separate controller on the lap, but as you can see, the JSOC solution just doesn't work. Just does not work. However, if you do have that extra front cover with you, which is 135 grams on its own, then you can use that as a sort of a stand for your kickstand. So it does make it usable if you do carry it around, and then you can connect your DualSense or an Xbox controller or a GameSeer Cyclone 2 or any other controller, and it does actually work this way. But yeah, you have to remember to carry around your front plate, your front cover for the mod case. And then when it comes to the Spigen solution, as you can see, it just works. You just open the kickstand itself and it just works, and you can just start playing games. So yeah, thanks for watching another episode of Quick Expert Reviews, and I'll speak to you soon, guys.